What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. My name is Joey, and I am here with my lovely interdimensional
hero, Moxie Molly. And Joey, what fun and interesting guest did you supply our review today?
Hey, kitty girl, it's Tommy Purr.
Hey, guys.
Please tell me, where is the origin of the last name Purr?
Okay, I was a huge Sable Mark. I still am a huge Sable Mark. And so I wanted like something with like a cat, you know, because she has the whole Wildcat thing. And my sister Asia was around 7. I was like, oh, what about like Tommy Meow or something like that? And I was trying to think of something. And then she put her input in. And her favorite movie was Jawbreaker at the time. What about Tommy Purr? When I got into wrestling, I was like, Tommy Purr. And everyone liked it.
Let's go ahead and hop into this review because we've got a lot of things to talk about. NXT, also as it's known this week, Promo City, started off with a match between Tegan Nox and I believe an NXT debut for Indi Hartwell. I knew she was signed and then I didn't see anything from her. And then you have her come on and like Shayna broke her arm literally on Raw between some stairs. And then she comes in and she's beating up on Tegan Nox this week. So it's like, okay.
Would we consider her a superstar yet?
She's under contract, but I mean, no lie, she came out looking like a superstar this week. Like she came to play.
If half of the Diva Search losers who were on TV for like 2 seconds, like Rochelle Lowen and Lauren Jones, could be considered divas, and they were like literally in WWE for like a cup of coffee, then it's not unrealistic to call Indi a superstar. Her performance wasn't offensive, so it's not like it could be like, no, you can't be a superstar.
No, you're right. She was pretty stellar.
I mean, she came out, she was clearly given the heel vibes, but again, she had charisma coming out of her. I didn't get any from Tegan this week. I was just kind of like, girl, give me something to latch on to.
I agree.
I've been done saying that since Tegan came back. Like, since they separated her from Dakota Kai, I don't know, I haven't been feeling her. Also, Tegan wasted no time dyeing her hair orange. Now that there's no orange superstar, we're going to see a lot popping up. I mean, I'm an orange superstar.
So for like a week there, like every girl was coming back on screen with green hair, and they were like, wait, you got green? I thought I was green. Tegan
didn't really do it for me either. Morrow really tried to put her over. Like, I think he like burst a blood vessel doing it to the point where like he cut off the other announcer. Like the announcer was going over something, and then Morrow just went way off the rails and got super excited when she did her cannonball thing in the corner, which I really liked. I really liked that. And he's like, oh, there it is. And then he's like, she's a Captain America of NXT. And I'm like, is she? I just was kind of bored. And nothing against those two girls at all, because I thought Indi really had charisma. I really was into it. I did feel like the chokeslam was a little strange since Tegan's shorter and smaller. It was very,
she's been called Lady Kane.
I'm actually not cool with her being called Lady Kane, because when I hear Lady Kane, I think of someone almost like Raquel. You know what I mean?
Who can hit that choke slam, make it look devastating.
Big, daunting, being choked and picked up by them, or actually even being picked up by them makes it seem like you're literally gravitating above ground. Like when Tegan, who's the same height as, a regular adult, and there's nothing about her that says Kane to me. She's not wrestling in a mask. She's not coming out trying to be some sort of demon that's crawled out from the underdepths of the earth. She's trying to be Captain Marvel, yet Lady Kane. I didn't like it from the get-go that they said it, and I hate it now.
When I think of Lady Kane, I think of Katie Vick. No, I'm just kidding.
We're going to move on along.
There's also a difference between people who can execute a chokeslam and lift people up. Like Raquel does it beautifully. I am a fan. There is a difference between those who can make it look seamless and effortless, like Kane does, and those who can, lift people. I like Indi. I want to see some things tweaked, and I look forward to seeing more of her.
Let's go ahead and move on from this and dive into the giant pit of promos that we got from the ladies this week. The first promo we got was from Rhea Ripley. Honestly, it's the best I've heard Rhea talk.
I agree. I was like, wow, I can understand what she's saying.
It was really good. I like these kinds of promos. It helps ingratiate yourself to an audience, gets them to know you a little bit better without the crowd interfering with boring or show us your puppies.
Rhea's promos are just very they're just not that good. This one kind of breathed new life into her.
Much like the point I made with Casey Catanzaro, like I said last week, I think that every time we see her, we're really impressed because they don't utilize her. Now, the point I'm going to circle it back to Rhea is she's had a break. She's had a nice long time for her body to recover. She's had time to practice, to get into a mental space, to just refresh, whether it is as a wrestler or in her personal life. And I love seeing moments like this because I feel like it's not only that they come back hungry, but they come back literally refreshed. They're not exhausted. They're not living off of protein bars and muscle milk. And I really think that's what it was. I do think we overutilize our talent like way too much, and it causes the influx and injuries we have, but then it also causes kind of what we're getting even on the other brand with Shayna. They're exhausted. They need to go away, eat a cupcake and some bacon not made in a microwave, DS, and have a margarita and everything will be fine.
They also announced that we're getting EO versus Rhea next week on NXT.
Yes. That is amazing. I love EO, especially just her theme song. Like her entrance. I love it. I love when she just leans all the way back and like takes her hood off. And I'm like, yes, like it's like
Shinsuke
sexy.
Nakamura, who?
Yeah, it's sexy and tough and cool all at the same time. It's great.
Our next promo that we got was Karrion Kross and the new breed of diva, Miss Scarlett.
Yes.
What'd you guys think? Because Moxie, last week we were talking about how they didn't give us any character development. They didn't really give us character development this week, but they did give us an old school Judgment Day theme song, so I'm okay with it.
Last week I said, I don't feel like there's enough character development, but I'm willing to give it a chance.
Yeah.
I wasn't completely shitting on it. I wasn't saying it was no good. I wasn't saying I wasn't happy with it. I was saying it didn't mesh well with all the video packages they gave us leading up. It just there was no continuity, and that's what I was upset about. But did I say that it was interesting? I did, and it was, and so was this week. And am I waiting for more development? Yes. But am I totally saying like, no, I hate it as much as I hate like that nightmare thing that I can't even remember the name of?
Nightmare Collective.
Yeah. It doesn't even deserve for me to remember it. Like that's how
it's
much
infamous. I love it.
But I am still willing to give all of this time to evolve. And I'm glad, as much as people were like, keep Vince out of NXT, him, dipping his fingers into it has like given us more of those promos and more of those starting to build up characters. And I'm here for it. Am I here 100% for Karrion Kross and Scarlett yet? No, but am I still willing to give it a chance? Yes.
I'm kind of here for it really, really hardcore just because I love a look queen. We stand a look queen.
Oh,
so
yeah,
hardcore.
no. I mean, if we're talking about just their looks, they got the creepy ass look down. Like, okay, I'll give you that.
I love what Scarlett and Killer Kross, as he'll always be known by me because I don't like that name, Karrion. I think that's great, and I love that they use the old "This is the end."
The end is near.
Yeah.
The next one coming up is Dakota Kai and Raquel González. Damn good.
Yeah,
promo.
I loved it. I like it. I want more. I've never not felt these two ladies. I just had tiny little critiques, but this promo, feeling every single second of it.
You know what I want. So.
It's making me feel like Dakota Kai still wants to have an angle with freaking Tegan Nox, and I feel like that's overplayed. So that little part, but I found it very comical. Eat me up in the comments if you want. When Dakota Kai was like, I stood in everyone's shadow, but I was like, I've always been more about you than Tegan, girl. So Tegan was your shadow. But then I also wanted to be like, oh yeah, well now you stand in Raquel's shadow.
But after that promo, I so want to see Raquel on a bike to the ring with Dakota sitting in the back seat.
I love Raquel. I wasn't into Dakota until she turned heel, until she beat the ever-loving shit out of Tegan Nox at War Games. I was like, ooh, I like her. She's cool.
Next promo that we got was Johnny and Candice with another sit-down dinner promo, and I thought this one was better than the first. Just kind of seemed like they actually have a direction for these characters finally.
Well, they're obviously going to target Lee and Mia Yim. So, I mixed tag team match coming up in the future.
This is what I don't like. Although every time Candice wrestles, I know Johnny's out there with her and he's like introducing her and stuff. But the way even this promo played out, like he talked about all his amazingness, and then she was like, don't forget you're not the only one that had a match. And so I still don't like how they kind of have her play second fiddle to her husband, but I feel like it gives us glimpses of how to break them up if something goes awry, and like say somebody else gets freaking pregnant, and then suddenly they have to change the freaking storyline and the way this is supposed to go. Like it gives them a way to like she turns on him. We see a really awesome intergender match. Finally, we see how good Candice Lerae is on the big screen and not just in the indies. And then, perfect. So actually, I hope they do that sooner rather than later.
I think that was intentional.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're laying the groundwork for something to happen between them.
Before we get to our last match on NXT, one thing that people want us to talk about is Jake Atlas, and his win this week was over Tony Nese. I couldn't keep my eyes off Tony Nese. Like, my husband, who doesn't watch wrestling, walked in as I was watching this match and went, damn. And I was like, yeah.
He's a walking thirst trap. I'm sorry. I'm like, yes.
But we do have a rename of Jake Atlas's finishing move from the LGB-DDT to the Rainbow DDT, which I like it. It rolls off the tongue a little bit more.
I don't like the name Rainbow DDT, but I like it better than LGB-DDT because the original did not roll off the tongue very well. It was just a lot to say. Rainbow DDT, I feel like it's so uncreative. It was just like, what's gay? Rainbows. What's DDT? Throw it out there. Come up with something completely new. Like somewhere over the rainbow would have been cool because he's literally going over, he's cartwheeling over. Like that would have been cool. Or over the rainbow. Boom. I just think the name was kind of uncreative.
He does a cartwheel off the top rope. Call it bottoms up.
Oh, see, there you go. That would have been amazing. I feel like Atlas has no character. Being gay is not a character. You know what I'm saying? Just simply being an advocate is not a character. I don't think that they're trying to hide necessarily the gay stuff, but Atlas was showing his taunting. He was bowing, doing the Trish Stratus bow. Maybe they're going to start turning him heel. But I just think Atlas needs a character. Just do something with him. I don't want it to be just straight up, I'm a gay advocate. I need something more.
But we do have to move on to our last match of NXT this week. It was Kayden Carter going one-on-one against Aliyah in... I gotta say, probably the best match I've seen Aliyah in. Kayden's new entrance, I dig, with the light reflecting off of her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now that she's got it, like, choreographed, I was like, I'm feeling this.
Wow, these two girls, like, now that they've done all the cuts, they almost have more of a fire because they're like, I'm not getting cut. Like,
oh, especially Aliyah. Like, you know you're on the chopping block, girl.
Yeah, I feel like they were, like, wrestling inside a box previously because they didn't know where do I belong here, and now that they made the cut, like they didn't get booted out, they're like, I'm leaping outside of the box because I actually belong here.
Yeah,
I liked the match, and I loved when Robert Stone came out because Stone can get it even with them RuPaul high water pants.
Last week we were talking about how we didn't really think that Robert Stone was coming for Aliyah, but it looks like he was scouting her this week, and we have a storyline. Yeah,
who knows storyline? I do.
Although I loved her gear this week, she was giving me like Elsa Cub Chew realness, and I dug it.
I liked it. I liked the gear. And Kayden's gear was great too. And I love the flow of her hair when she moves in the ring.
I imagine Kayden's back is lit up because those corner kicks where she had her in the Tree of Woe and was just kicking at her back. Like, damn. That was an interesting match. So let's go ahead and dive on into the world that was AEW this week, because this week we were treated to the top 4 contenders for Nyla Rose's championship in a fatal 4-way match. It was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Hikaru, Shida, Kris Statlander, and Penelope Ford. So what do we think about this fatal 4-way, guys?
I think that AEW was like, hey, we haven't had very many women on the show lately. Now people can travel a little more easily. Let's just do a 4-way.
It was a solid way to showcase these 4 women just because they're pretty much the only 4 that have been in the division aside from Nyla. So it's a good way to showcase them all.
What about the one that was the first ever ladies champion?
Riho? I don't know where she is right now.
Well, I mean, you said they're the only ones that have been the division. Riho has been the division.
Well, whenever Riho was champion, they didn't really put a focus on the women. Like, they're just now starting to revamp them by putting that belt on Nyla. Like,
well, for the match itself, I
thought it was absolutely fantastic up until the end. I thought the end got a little wonky, but I thought it was a great match till then.
I don't know. I just maybe I didn't connect with it. That Poison Rana she did though to Kris.
Oh my God, I was so scared.
I was like, someone check on that little girl. Like, oh my God. I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad everyone's safe.
It looked like Kris didn't get enough leverage with it or something, because she landed her head right next to Penelope's head. And I've never seen that happen with a reverse Rana.
And Penelope looked like she was going to break in half when she was doing it. I was like, oh, wow. And then the finish was wonky to me. Again, we're all wrestlers. It was probably just timing. So it's nothing negative against them. I wasn't a big fan of the match.
It was really good try, but I don't think you can throw this many people who haven't been in the ring for weeks into a match and expect everything to be crisp. So it's like they had a lot of good spots, but not everything was crisp, because as wrestlers, we know ring rust does exist. Oh, yes. And I like all of them have been in like, you know, shelter in place. So I just think it wasn't a smart idea to put so many people who haven't been able to get in a ring for a good amount of time in at once. Like Britt Baker's been there, so put her and someone else.
Shida.
Her and Shida or something. Put someone else in there who has been wrestling these past couple weeks.
Well, Penelope has as well. I feel like the only one we haven't seen much of is Kris.
Or do Britt and Penelope.
The biggest thing I can bring from this match was not even Hikaru Shida getting the win. I was so much more fascinated with Britt Baker going psycho on Statlander on the floor.
Yeah, it was great. It looked vicious. So
she is downright psychotic, and I don't think they're playing that up enough. Like, she's got so much character built into one person now. Like, she's psycho, she's a role model, she's so disillusioned as this dentist character. It's really turning into something that I'm completely enthralled with.
I feel like they're not playing it up enough because they've spent so much time playing in how Nyla is like this native beast psycho. Now they can't just hand it off to Britt. But honestly, if you're going to actually use the word psycho, Britt is embodying it. Because when we move on to the promo, I'm not happy with
Well, let's go ahead and move on, because we saw Shida get the win after giving the knee to Penelope Ford. So Hikaru Shida's still the number one contender. And then she had an interview. Moxie, give us your opinion on that promo backstage.
Oh, I think thank you. Like, who cares if they only speak like a very little bit of English? Like, let them do a freaking promo. That's part of being a wrestler. So I was fine with Hikaru Shida. I think she tried her best. And although I wish she smiled a little more, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's that mean? But like, Nyla, I'm sorry. I like her. But it was so cheesy, and like it seemed, I mean, she was hitting someone in the head, so she, you know, pulled it back a bit, but like it didn't seem like it was very impactful. Hikaru Shida sold the hell out of it for the little bit of like contact that happened, and we've seen Nyla do better promos.
Nyla seemed more relaxed though when executing the promo. It didn't like, it felt like, because if you follow Nyla, I'm social media friends with her. She's hysterical. She's hysterical.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yes. So it felt like she was kind of like in her, at least in her element. I do agree that the strike could have been harder.
Let's go ahead and move over to AEW Dark, because we did get 2 women's matches on AEW Dark. The first one was a lot of booping because it was Kris Statlander going one-on-one with Danny Jordan.
I like Danny Jordan. I liked this match, not loved. It was a little sloppy, but again, when you haven't wrestled in weeks, you're going to have a lot of rust. But I think those 2 ladies work well together, and I'd like to see more of it.
Legit. Danny Jordan walked out holding a burn book, and both commentators were like, oh, I guess she talked to Leva Bates, and she was a librarian.
That made me so... Taz
it's like, you uncultured swines!
I'm so glad you brought up that it's about Mean Girls, because not only does her gear say Mean Girls, and it has like the burn book lettering on it, it was pink, and they wrestled on Wednesday.
She beat me to it.
On Wednesdays we wear pink. On Wednesdays we wear pink. It doesn't matter that they aired it on a Tuesday, Joey.
Exactly.
They did the actual match on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's like, does she have that gear only when she wrestles on Wednesdays?
I watched this before I watched the Fatal 4, and I was like, that's why I was like, okay, with Kris, I'm like, I just need more of the tweaks to the outfit. I need more extraterrestrial. Her makeup, she just looks like she's part of indigenous tribe. I want alien because no one's doing alien, so give me alien, you know?
This match ended with Kris Statlander doing the Big Bang Theory. I was like, what's the name of that TV show?
That's a great move. I thought the setup into it was a little sloppy. I thought the idea of the move was really, really effective, and I thought the commentators would have sold it. So,
and let's go ahead and hop over to the next match that we got. It was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, going one-on-one with Miss Skylar Moore. Pretty standard Dr. Britt Baker match.
I thought that her entrance was very like Tori Wilson, SmackDown, shut your mouth. It was very like, now coming to the ring. You know, she was just very like hair flip and stood there. And I was like, okay, cool.
With this match, though, it didn't showcase Skylar. Like, I thought like the previous match showcased a little bit more of Danny Jordan. Skylar in this match, you just can't topple Britt Baker. She's an entertainment force right now.
I like that she talked during the match. That was fun. She got to show more personality as well. And I love that her character is delusional. I love the glove spot. Give me the glove. Give me the glove.
It's so hard to put the locals with Britt Baker because she's got so much star power right now. But this is the thing. The girls they've been bringing in, locals as well as who they hired on, Skylar Moore, Anna Jay, like I'm just not feeling them. They're too similar. And I feel like for how much AEW said they were going to give us a different product and for how much they have men who have a billion different characters that are all very distinguishable, they're still not giving due justice to the women's division in that way.
It's just that old WWF syndrome where it's like the women get one slot, this is for the women, and then we're done. Like getting 2 matches on Dark this week was, unheard of pretty much.
Well, because we haven't had one on Dark in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Hey, Moxie.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Tommy. What was your boom blast moment of the week?
Definitely Penelope Ford with that Poison Rana just made me go, oh my God. Followed closely by me marking out to Scarlett and Karrion Kross having the end is near theme song.
The Dakota Kai Raquel promo, I would say.
Mine is going to be Britt Baker on the floor with Statlander at the end.
That was my second choice.
And also another honorary mention for Kip Sabian's butt. Hey, Moxie.
Hey, Joey. Where can people find you?
On Twitter, Rareform, RAWR_form. And on Instagram, it's the_man_diva.
You can find me on every form of social media at Joey_Mayberry. Also, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My new show, Tops and Bottoms, is going to be debuting this Sunday.
You can find me across all social media platforms at that's THEE, Moxie Molly. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this review or any of them on our show, please look below and literally ring the bell to subscribe and get all the updates of all of our cool content. And if you want to see some exclusive content, don't forget that we have a Patreon and check out all of our cool merch on our Teespring. All of this cited below.
Yes. And we will be back next week with another review of all things AEW and all things NXT. Until then, I guess it's peace out. Bye, guys.